Brethren, I pray you sing a new song. Sing praise in the assembly of the righteous. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let the high praise of God be on the mouths of the saints and a two-edged sword in their hands to execute vengeance on the demonic nations and punishments on those peoples, to bind their kings with chains. This honor have all his saints. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Sing to him a new song.
Beautiful breakdown from the brother Mahar Rakam in the spirit, right? All right, I guess we'll go on a little quick lesson real quick. Let me give me the book of Colossians chapter 3 verse 16 real quick. All right, because a lot of people, somebody asked me this question the other day: do I believe that Jesus is God? All right. They still asking that. They still asking me if Jesus is God. All right, and I want you to give me Psalms. Before you do that, I want you to give me John 3:16 real quick. John 3:16. We're gonna make this real easy real quick. Read what you got.
This is John chapter 3 verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son.
He did what?
He gave his only begotten son.
Oh, he sent himself.
He gave his only begotten son.
Read again from the top.
For God so loved the world.
So God loved the world, all right, Israel. God so loved the world, what did he do?
That he gave his only begotten son.
So God so loved the world of Israel, that he gave his only begotten son. That's a clear cut. Y'all love John 3:16, but then y'all want to just ignore that God said he was going to send his son.
Right.
All right, that's simple right there. We ain't even got to read the rest. Let me get Psalms 83 verse 6. Go ahead.
82 verse 6. Oh, which one? Colossians?
Yeah, Colossians.
Which one? 3 or 1, right? God, this is the book of Colossians chapter 3 verse 16. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly in all wisdom.
So like 1 and 16.
1 and 16. God, this is the book of Colossians chapter 1 verse 16. For by him were all things created that are in the heaven and that are in the earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. God, verse 17, and he is before all things, and by him all things consist.
Read verse 15 again.
15? It's the book of Colossians chapter 1 verse 15. Who is the image of the invisible God?
Oh, he is God.
Who is the image of the invisible God?
When y'all talking about is God, Jesus God, no, the Bible says that he is the image of the invisible God. He's not God himself. All right? Let me give Colossians 82 verse 6. That's what it is. Psalm. Select it.
This is Psalms chapter 82 and verse 6. I have said, ye are gods.
What the Bible say?
I have said, ye are gods.
So the Bible calls the Israelites gods. So in an aspect of, is Yahushua a God? Yes, he is a God, because all the nation of Israel is a God, according to the Bible. But he is not the most high God. Okay? Go ahead.
And all of you are children of the Most High.
And yes, he's the only begotten son of the Most High. So yes, he's a God, but he's not the Most High God. Okay? All right, let me get Daniel chapter 7 real quick. 13. Con. Y'all got a precept? Okay. Con, I want Daniel chapter 7 verse 13.
Con, it's the book of Daniel chapter 7 verse 13. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man.
What the Bible say?
One like the Son of Man.
Read again from the top.
I saw in the night visions.
So Daniel is seeing a vision. All right, we just got done dealing with Daniel. All right, so it says Daniel is seeing a vision. Read.
I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man.
Yahushua, who you call Jesus Christ, go ahead.
Came with the clouds of heaven.
He did what?
came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days.
Did what?
And came to the Ancient of Days.
Did what?
And came to the Ancient of Days.
So if Jesus is God, how did he come to the Ancient of Days, the Most High God? All right? If he's the same person, he came to himself? Read again from the top.
I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him.
So Yahushua came to the Ancient of Days. All right? He is not the Most High God. He is a God, just like all the Israelites are gods.
Right.
All right? But he's not the Most High God. You had a precept? I wanted, go ahead. I'm going to pick what I just wanted. Go ahead.
God, this is the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 1. If ye then be risen with Christ, seek those things which are above, where Christ sitteth on the right hand of God.
That's exactly what I wanted, all through the Spirit. So Christ sit on the right hand of God. All right? When you have a child, all right, he could be sitting on the right hand of you. He can't be you. All right? Ain't no way that Jesus is the Most High when the Bible say that he's sitting on the right hand of God. All right? Go ahead.
This is John chapter 15 and verse 10. If ye keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abode in his love.
So Yahushua, who you call Jesus Christ, said he kept the Father commandments. All right? All right? So he doesn't have his own commandments. He said, I did the will of the Father. All right? All the knowledge, wisdom, understanding that he got came from the Most High. All right? Go ahead.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 30, and I'll start at verse 4. Though his father died, which we know Yahweh don't die, but though his father died, yet he is as though he were not dead, for he have left one behind that is like himself. So the point I was trying to make is that, hey, Yahweh got a son, Yahweh Shai, and he's like himself, but that don't mean that they the same person.
Let me get that in Colossians, the man, the woman, and God. What's that, Colossians 12? I mean, not Colossians, Corinthians. Salakia, Corinthians. Salakia. Catch me. Help me out then, all right? You got it? 11. Come.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
So he said, I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ. All right, so he's giving you an order, all right? The head of every man is Yahushua, right? Go ahead.
And the head of the woman is the man.
And the head of the woman is the man. So you got Christ, Yahushua, then the woman. Go ahead.
And the head of Christ is God.
And the head of Christ is God. So you got God, Yahweh, Yahushua, man, and then women. All right. So you can't say that Jesus is God when he's subjected under the Most High God. All right. He's not equal to God in no way. Go ahead.
God, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 17. And he said unto him, why callest thou me good?
Slug. There is none good but one. That is Yahweh. He said what? That is Yahweh. That is Yahweh. He says none good but one, and that is Yahweh. Go ahead.
But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments.
He said if you enter into life, keep the commandments. All right? So you Christians, man, y'all need to wake the hell up, man. All right? You so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans that are under that sick drug called Christianity, y'all need to wake up. Like the brother said, it's high time to wake up out of sleep. Read the Bible, man. It says study to show thyself approved. All right? You ain't got to believe what we bringing out. Go read it for yourselves. All right? Go ahead.
This is John chapter 15 and verse 28. Ye have heard how I said unto you, I go away and come again unto you. If ye love me, ye will rejoice, because I said, I go unto the Father, for my Father is greater than I.
He said, the Father is greater than I. Okay? And that's red letter. So what are y'all talking about, and where do y'all get this daggone Trinity doctrine, man? All right? Kind. What was the question you said?
One of the brothers, I don't know which one, had a question about why do we keep the Sabbath we do, basically.
Why do we keep the Sabbath? We do because it's in the Bible.
No, Friday sundown and Saturday sundown. Where do we get? He asking about the calendar and the lunar.
Who? Oh, you. So,
Why do I do it specifically on Saturday?
let me get if you're going to pull that out, let me get Genesis chapter 1 real quick.
Kill that lunar first.
don't know, brother. Let me get 1 and
I think you want 2 and 1.
no, I want 1 and 15.
This is Genesis chapter 1 and verse 15. And let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth, and it was so.
So what gives light upon the earth and the heavens? And what else? So you got the sun, the star, and the moon, right? Read that again.
And let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth, and it was so. And God made the 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night.
You did what?
And God made 2 great lights, and the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night.
So what are the 2 great lights that he's talking about? The sun and the moon, all right? You following along very well. Go ahead.
He made the stars also.
He made the what?
He made the stars also.
Go ahead.
And God set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth,
He set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. Go ahead.
and to rule over the day and over the night.
We can see this is true because we're still seeing the sun ruling the day and the moon ruling the night, right? Go ahead.
And to divide the light from the darkness.
Divided the light from the darkness. Go ahead.
And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the 4th day.
So the evening and when the evening came, it was the 4th day. All right. So a lot of people say, oh, when it's nighttime, when it's 12 o'clock, it's a new day. Nah. When the evening come in, that's what the Bible say. All right. Jump up to verse. That's okay. We'll just deal with the matter at hand. Let's go to Genesis 2. All right. So we see that the light, the moon, stars, and the suns, they govern us, right? All right. Oh, did you read it when it was for time and seasons? No, let's read that part.
Hey, I got one too.
Verse. All right, read 14 again.
This is Genesis chapter 1 and verse 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years.
So for signs and for seasons and for days and for years, right? So we can tell what season it is if we can just look at the star, sun, and the moon, right? We can tell what time it is. That's how they tell what time it is, right? So, and it says for seasons. So when you're looking at the Bible, when we're supposed to keep the Sabbath day, we got the moon, the star, and the suns to give us a sign of when the Sabbath is coming in. All right. Start at
This is Genesis chapter 2 and verse 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all of the host of them. And on the 7th day, God...
On the what?
On the 7th day...
On the what?
On the 7th day, God ended his work, which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made.
The Most High rested on the 7th day, right? So, what is the first day of the week? So, if you count from Sunday, count it.
I know how to get it, but it's a Roman calendar.
We didn't go by. We went by the 7th day of the week. Right?
Sunday, Monday, that's the Roman.
No, just because that's what they call them, how you know that that's the Roman calendar? You see what I'm saying? Because you know that's Sunday, Monday, but the first day of the week is Sunday. You see what I'm saying? All right, so watch this. You got that?
In 1582, Pope Gregory VIII instituted his calendar by jumping ahead 11 days numerically.
So you had the Gregorian calendar. All right, that was the calendar before the Roman calendar. You see what I'm saying? And they were very, very similar. Okay, so when you say, oh, that's the Roman calendar, no, it's not. All right, go ahead.
The 7-day weekly cycle was not affected. The order of Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday was not affected.
So this is during the Gregorian calendar. All right, the order of the days of the week was not affected. Okay, you can't change what the Most High set up. Okay, when the Most High made the first day, then it's gonna be the first day. It ain't gonna change. Okay, go ahead.
Salak. He only changed the number of the days. It was Thursday, October 4th, and the next day would have been Friday, October the 5th. But instead, it became Friday, October 15th. 11 numerically days were added But the order of the days of the week did not change at all. The weekly cycle stayed exactly the same.
The weekly cycle stay exactly the same, brother. You see what I'm saying? Now I want the one where it talks about now when they talk about that the Roman Israel kept the holy day, it was the same day as the Saturn's day. I want that one. Huh? Oh yeah. Okay. One second, I got you. Go ahead.
But the temple itself, which the other party had occupied, he captured only with difficulty, for it was on high ground and was fortified by a wall of its town, of its own. And if they had continued defending it all the days alike, he could not have gotten possession of it. As it was, they made an exception of what are called the days of Saturn. And by doing no work at all on those days, afforded the Romans an opportunity in this interval to batter down the wall. Thus, defenders were captured on the day of Saturn without making any defense.
So that's what happened. You see, the Romans knew that the Jews wouldn't do nothing on that day, so they attacked them. You see what I'm saying? And it was the day of what? Saturn. It was called Saturn's day back then, but today it's called Saturday because they were worshiping Saturn. All right? Right. We got one more that speaks about that. Go ahead.
It's the actual scripture, because the Saturn's day, he's trying to show you the relation that they called it Saturn's day, but we know it as the Sabbath day, because that's what the Most High ordained it as. So this is Maccabees 2:36. Howbeit they answered them not, neither cast they a stone at them, nor stooped the places where they lay and hid. But they said, let us do all in our innocency. Heaven and earth will testify for us that we put us to death wrongfully. So they rose up against them in the battle on the Sabbath, and they slew them with their wives and children and their cattle to the number of 1,000 people.
So they rose up on them on the Sabbath day, right? Go ahead.
It's like it. That's all hell, right?
Okay. So it's one more you got. It's one more I sent you.
I just went that one.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a lot.
No.
That's it.
That is right there.
I'm so lucky. I got this glare on my screen. It says they defied Vespasian, attacked the Jews on the day of Saturn, a day on which it is sinful for them to do any business, and so defeated them.
So you see another account. You see what I'm saying? Now read this source on that. Where we getting that from?
Slovakia. I don't know how to say that word. Maybe it's the
Let me see. Stratagemacan.
I don't know.
Stratagemacan, however you pronounce it, but it's the Julian 40th, page 98. Julian 40th. So these are historians, and these are historical accounts, right? That we're pulling up right now. That, right. I don't know. I can't pronounce it. Don't even get me. There's one more out of the Maccabees. I want you to go ahead, select it. Yeah, did you read that one? Come on, read that one. Watch this, brother.
Now, when it was told the king's servants and the host that was at Jerusalem in the city of David that certain men who had broken the king's commandment.
All right, so Salakia, those other ones, we brought out an account of historians that were during that period of time, right? That have wrote about this. Now we're going to bring scriptures that substantiate it, because the Bible is the holy what can we say, authoritative figure when we judge by it. Go ahead.
Khan. Now, when it was told the king's servants and the host that was at Jerusalem in the city of David that certain men who had broken the king's commandment were gone down into the secret places in the wilderness. First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 32, they pursued after them a great number, and having overtaken them, they camped against them and made war against them on the Sabbath day.
So we showed that they said that the Romans had attacked them on Saturn's day, and now we see that it was the Saturday. You see what I'm saying in the Bible? So we know when we do it, we're doing it by the historical history that we got and the biblical text that we have. All right, and it says that we do it from evening to evening. All right, so when the sun go down, all right, Sabbath is over. All right, and that's what we go by. All right, and I used to keep the lunar Sabbath, right? But I saw sometimes it'll be 8 days, right? And I was tripped out by that. I was like, hold up, you know, yeah. I'm like, hold on, it's supposed to be a full moon tonight. You know what I'm saying? The full moon didn't come till tomorrow. And I'm like, hold on, but this is the 7th day. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it is what it is. But that's the information we can give you to show you that we keep it from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. All right? Evening to evening. All right? You good on that? Okay. All right. You got a precept? Oh, yeah. Where'd you get it from? Where'd you get it from, though? I sent it to you personally? Oh, okay. Salakia. Okay, I thought I put them in the chat. Salakia, my fault. I got you. Oh, no, you ain't got them either? Okay. I just sent it to them, too. Salakia. Right. All right, so if you got the information, all right. So I wanted to pull out a couple more precepts. Grab me that real quick. Just don't let it open, because I had one scripture I wanted to bring out for Godhead. I forgot what it was. All right, so where is it set? Yeah. That's a whole bunch of scriptures we can grab to prove this, man. This is like 1,000 precepts, really, man. But it's one I really wanted. All right, so that's easy. Let's put John 12 and 49. Boy, John 12 49.
I think you broke it. I think you broke it.
Uh-huh.
This is John chapter 12 and verse 49. For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me. He gave me a commandment, what I should say and what I should speak.
He said, I have not spoken of myself, but the Father that sent me. So if he's not speaking of himself, then somebody else said this. You see what I'm saying? He can't be God because he just told you he's speaking the words of his Father that sent him. All right, go ahead.
And I know that his commandment is life everlasting. Whatsoever I speak, therefore, even as the Father said unto me, so I speak.
All right, so he speaks what the Father tells him to speak. All right, so that's simple. All right, let me get Deuteronomy 64. No, it's another one I wanted too. John 7:17. Oh man, we can do Timothy 2:5. That's easy. That's easy work, right? John 17. It's easy work. Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord.
No, he's two.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord.
The Lord our God is one Lord. All right? So the Most High is one. All right? You have God, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, man. All right? They all on one accord, but they are not the same. All right? That's right. John 17, 1 through 3. Yeah, he got it, I think. John 17, 1 through 3. Go ahead.
These words spake Yahushua and lifted up his eyes to heaven.
So this is Jesus speaking, and he's lifting up his eyes to heaven. All right, go ahead.
And said, Father, the hour is come.
So Jesus is speaking. He looks up to heaven, and he says, Father. Hold on. Who's in heaven if he's the Father? All right? Is he a schizophrenic maniac? Is he crazy? All right, like when you see people in the streets talking to themselves? Because he's supposed to be the Father, but he looks up and he speaks and says, Father. Okay, go ahead.
Father, the hour is come. Glorify thy Son, that thy Son also may glorify thee.
Hold on, but who is his son then? Right? Because I thought Jesus was the Son. But if Jesus is God, then he's talking to him and himself again? Like, it don't even make sense. Right? Go ahead.
As thou hast given him power over all flesh, that he should give eternal life. Salak, to as many as thou hast given him. And this is life eternal, that they might know thee, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom thou hast sent.
Right, the only true God, right? Who's the only true God? The Most High, right? And Yahushua, who he sent. John 3:16, right? This is simple, man. All right? They just break their own laws, right? Go ahead.
God, this is Matthew 26:38. It says, then said he unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, as I will, but as thou will. And that goes on to Yahushua knowing what was going to happen to him. If he was God, he would cause that not to happen to him, even if it's in a different way or whatever the case is. But he knew what he had to go through. If he was God, he would not allow that to go for himself, because nobody want to die. So they get it.
All right, come on.
This is John 7:16. Jesus answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me.
He said, my doctrines is not mine, but his that sent me. Who sent Yahushua? Jesus? The Father. So the doctrine comes from the Father, not Jesus. He just said it out of his own mouth. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what are Christians reading? Right? Not the Bible. That's right. All praises.
Right. Not the Bible.
Go ahead.
Y'all subscribe to regeneration in the sense that, like, I heard a breakdown that Jesus was Solomon.
We 100% believe in regenerations. We 100% believe that you were here before. Everybody was here before. Because when we just read out of Genesis chapter, give me Genesis chapter 2 verse 1 again. Yeah, I want that. Come on.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 36.
Now, simple question. Was Jesus a man? Jesus was a man, right? Watch this.
But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only.
He said, but the day knoweth no man, right? And Jesus was a man. Jesus don't even know when he's coming back, right? Not even the angels know. Only the Father know. So when you're talking about Jesus is God, he don't even know when he's coming back. You see what I'm saying? Don't even make sense. But who was going to bring out was, so this is the proof, just to go back and show you something real quick.
This is Genesis chapter 2 and verse 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them.
So he said the heaven and the earth was finished, and all the host of them. All right, so everything that exists today was already created in Genesis chapter 2 verse 1. You see what I'm saying? So your spirit was already created way back then. You see what I'm saying? He's not making new spirits. All right? They're just being regenerated. You see what I'm saying? What you call recycled. You know what I'm saying? When you have something and you use it for the purpose, and now it's waste, you recycle it and bring it back for something else that's good. Right. That's all he's doing, regenerating. All right? You want to get into that? We'll have that, brother. You want to get in that? You want to get into regenerations? Adam, Solomon. Come on. We do that real quick for the brother. For the spirit. Yeah. All right, somebody can give me 1 Corinthians real quick. Hold on. So I already got it like right here too. So we're gonna show y'all that Yahushua, who the word ignorant calls Jesus Christ, was actually Adam. So let me see. Yeah, 14:45. Somebody give me Wisdom of Solomon 10 and 1. Somebody give me that. But first I want Luke 3 and 38. Or really no, 2nd Ezra 3 and 31. 3 and 21. So I'll get that one. Yeah. We'll read that next. Yeah. So this is showing y'all that Yahushua, who the word ignorant calls Jesus Christ, was actually Adam in the regeneration.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 3 and verse 21. For the first Adam bearing a wicked heart transgressed and was overcome. For the first Adam, bearing a wicked heart, transgressed and was overcome.
He said for the first Adam. So where's the second Adam? You know, it said it was for the first Adam was overthrown, or bearing a wicked heart.
So be all they that are born of him. Thus,
so be all they was born of him. So go to, I believe it's like Ezra 3. They say the mustard seed or the grain that was sown in the hearts. I think it's in 4, but yeah, go to 4. Go to the next page, so like you.
this is 2 Ezra chapter 4 and verse 30.
So the first man Adam, you know, because you know people don't hear that there was a first man Adam. So you know it got to be another Adam, or somebody had to be Adam. So it was the first man Adam. He was overthrown by a seed that was sown in his mind. We're gonna read about that, right?
For the grain of evil seed hath been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning, and how much ungodliness hath it brought up until this time.
Right, that was an evil seed sown in the mind of Adam from the beginning. That's why it was already set up in the spirit for us to go off and for us to go through what we go through. I did a whole breakdown on this in class one day, talking about that straight and narrow gate that leaded to life, because the entrances of the elder word was wide and sure. You know, everybody was living to almost 1,000 years. You know, Adam died at 970, I believe. You got people living, you know, long and beautiful lives. You know, now, hey, you barely getting over 21. You know, you got people like, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna see 21. You know, we don't know what can happen. You know, anybody can die any day. But you have people living for hundreds of years. So finish it up.
And how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come? Ponder now by thyself how great fruit of wickedness the grain of evil seed hath brought forth.
You gotta ponder how much wickedness this evil seed hath brought forth. Think about how much more wicked are we as a people today, as the world is today. It brought forth so much wickedness. So you got 1 Corinthians, or you got a precept?
I got a quick precept on that one. So this is Genesis 6 and 3. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. So you had men who was living, like he said, almost to 1,000 years. But men's wickedness kept abounding because that one grain, that one seed of wickedness was sown in Adam's heart. So he had to shorten the days of men and how long. He had to put a cap on it to how long men could actually live for.
So right, he knew that man was of the flesh. That was of the world. And you know, we are like we in slavery. Our spirit is in slavery to our flesh. You know, by our flesh, that's how we go off. That's why you got to be led by the Spirit upon being in this truth. So it said, go back to 2 Ezra 3 and 21. Read that one more time. So like it. Precept. So right, man, that's why we got to be led by the Spirit upon coming into this truth. We can't be doing no works of the flesh, you know, fulfilling the lust thereof. Read.
Come on, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 18 and verse 9. The number of men's days at the most are 100 years.
Right, that's him capping our lifespan. He said the number of the man's days are 100 years. You know, because he said the Spirit of the Lord should not always dwell with men. You know. So read 2 Ezra 3 and 21 real quick. Go back to it.
This is 2 Ezra, chapter 3, verse 21. For the first Adam, bearing a wicked heart, transgressed, and was overcome. And so be all they that are born of him.
Right. All them that was born of Adam, they're going to be overcome too. So it said for the first man, Adam, bearing a wicked heart. So now we're going to, you got a precept real quick? All right, come.
God, this is 2 Ezra 4 and 28. But as concerning the things whereof thou ask me, I will tell thee. For the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and at the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good. So that goes into it's all through the Spirit. The Most High God ordained it from that, ordained it like that from the beginning. It had to happen. So it says, for the grain of evil seed have been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning, and how much ungodliness have it brought up unto this time, and have much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come. And that goes also into the Most High God using the wicked to he using evil spirits to punish other people that he wants to punish. Let me get this precept once.
That's going into, he said, until the time of threshing come. You know, that's going into when the last day, the day of judgment, when the cup of Babylon or the sins of Babylon have reached into heaven. When he's like, hey, enough is enough now. You know, that's the time of threshing.
God, this is Sirach chapter 39 and 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of their destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So that's that wicked seed that was sown in Adam at the beginning. The Most High God had a purpose for it all along. It says, fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction.
Okay, so read 2nd Esdras 3:21 again. We got 1 Corinthians. All right, go ahead.
This is 2nd Esdras, chapter 3, verse 21. For the first Adam, bearing a wicked heart, transgressed, and was overcome, and so be all they that are born of him.
We understand that it was the first Adam. So give me Wisdom of Solomon 10:1. But now read that.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15, verse 45. And so it was written, the first man Adam,
It's written, the first man Adam, which we just read in 2nd Esdras.
and so it is written, the first man Adam was made a living soul.
That's going back to Genesis 2:7, when he brought that man up from the dust of the ground and breathed into him the breath of life. He gave him the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's what he gave him. That's what that breath of life was, that wisdom. So right, the first man Adam was made a living soul.
The last man, the last Adam was made a quickening spirit.
He said the last Adam was made a quickening spirit. Who was the last Adam? Who do we know as the Word today? Yahweh Shai, right? So Yahweh Shai is known as the Word. What did the Word do to you? It quickens you. Give me John 6:63. Come on.
This is the book of John, chapter 6, verse 63. It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life.
The words I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. It's the spirit that quickeneth you. So that last Adam was made a quickening spirit. That last Adam was Yahweh Shai. He was coming back to bring us out of his fall, which you about to read. So read that.
This is the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, verse 1. She preserved the firstborn father of the world that was created alone and brought him out of his fall.
Right, he's talking about wisdom. It say she preserved the firstborn father of the world. It's talking about Adam and brought him out of his fall. So when was Adam brought out of his fall? When he came back as Yahweh Shai. When he redeemed himself from the sins of the people. Because Adam went off too. So he had to come back and redeem himself. But he had to come who as he truly was. What's up?
This is the book of John, chapter 1 and verse 14. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth.
He said the Word was made flesh. So that's a precept going back to the words I speak to you, they are spirit and they are life. It's the Word that quickened them. So he said the Word was made flesh. That's talking about Yahweh Shai. We know he was made flesh. Give me precept Isaiah, I think 6 and 9 or 7 and 9. Somebody. You say that the Word was made flesh. It's talking about Yahweh Shai, who the Word ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. I believe we're 6 and 9. 7 and 9. Oh. No, 6 and 9 then. So like, I got it. But it's talking about a governor should come out of, basically. Yeah. Boss doesn't try to form. Kind of 9 and 6. Out of back.
Yeah. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, verse 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
Right. All these names and these terms are synonymous for Yahweh Shai. These are the terms that he was called. So he said, read the first sentence, the line.
Salakia. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given.
Right, that's the Word being made flesh. That's Adam coming back as Yahweh Shai coming back to redeem us and bringing us out.